this shit goes off. So there's a little fruit pop. It's a fruit pop. It's a fruit pop. Trust me.
Build me up to break me down, to build me up again. They like, Hov, we need you back so we could kill your ass again. You know, it's like this thing, this love.
Conflicts between musicians are typical in the hip-hop industry, and they frequently feed rumors and conjecture, leading fans to scrutinize every nuance and every action. As tensions between two legendary titans in the music industry, Jay-Z and ENT, have recently come under increased scrutiny.
No, you're
No, I want you to tell it.
You really are the best. You've proven it here today. As much as I'm proving it, you proving it. You proving it. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't. People say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need another one? You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Come on.
It all began when 50 Cent made a bold assertion that Jay-Z's success was primarily due to his relationship with Beyoncé in a recent interview discussing his own ascent to fame and the value of association in the industry. After joining up with Ba, Jay-Z started to acquire a plethora of awards and recognition, and even their kids appeared to win Grammys without ever entering the music industry.
You made a comment, right, saying that you knew someone that went through Jimmy Hinchman proffer agreement for a drug case. And the proffer agreement revealed that Jimmy Hinchman, he could have walked away if he would have given up Diddy. What you mean by that?
Well, what happened is that they had 9 different sessions with Jimmy Hinchman regarding his proffer agreement. So that means the feds went in there 9 different times to talk to him. And in those sessions, they asked him, what do you know about Sean Puffy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs? I don't think it was Puffy at that time. It wasn't Diddy at the time. But what do you know about Sean John Puffy Combs having sex with underage boys? And you got to realize, and people never think about this, that Jimmy and his brother, I think they had the same charges. But his brother walked away from that, and Jimmy gets life without the possibility of parole, I think. Which is crazy. For any drug charge. Nobody should spend their life in jail for drug charges. And just drug charges. But I think they try to tie him to some murders or something like that. I don't know that to be for sure. But he shouldn't spend his life in jail for no drug charges. Not at all. So, but they was gonna let him walk. If he'd have probably had to for that proffer agreement, they probably let him walk. If he had any information regarding Puff having sex with underage boys. That the feds asked him in 2011. In 2011, brother. So what did the feds know? Because the feds not coming there unless somebody made a report or somebody made some allegations against Puff in 2011 to ask a friend of his, Jimmy Hinchman, what do you know about that? But for them to ask him about that, it had to be more than a rumor. Somebody made a complaint somewhere. And the feds got hold to that complaint. Now they're going to investigate that complaint when they get people under the barrel, like they had Jimmy Hinchman. That's why they asked him.
If he did know information, right, why you think he didn't tell?
Then they would ask, how do you know? And then it comes into play, whereas that if you know of anybody that's endangering the welfare of a child, and you see that, and you don't report it, you're just as guilty as the person who doesn't. First and foremost, I just want to say, I know a lot of people want to hear these stories and everything like that, because this is stuff that happened back in the day. And then maybe that if they knew there was going to ever be a YouTube, or they knew there was going to ever be social media, a lot of the stuff probably wouldn't have got played out like it did. But things happen, and these are just stories from the past. I would like to use that as, what you call that, just to clear the facts up what's going on. But it all started, we was in Atlanta. And this story starts when I'm with Puff, and he's in exotic bookstores, and he's doing shopping, right? He's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, you know, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that, because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, you know, he got to go put it on the counter and, you know, show everybody what he's getting. So as he going, I'm just looking at the places where he picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I was like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there, and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo. I was messing with him. Because people don't understand, you know, we was like friends. He was a part of the same gang. So I'm still gonna tease him. I'm still gonna mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs. And he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you could do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. So when he got I just waited at the counter. When he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like, he gave the guy a stack something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s and nothing like that. And I mean, like, he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on a G5 jet.
While Jay-Z's ascent to fame has been unquestionably impressive, his willingness to sever relationships in order to achieve greater success raises ethical concerns about the cutthroat nature of the entertainment industry. One of the most significant scandals surrounding Jay-Z is his fallout with Dame Dash, his former friend and business partner. Their split sent shockwaves through the industry, with many questioning Jay-Z's loyalty and integrity.
We all got on a G5 jet, and we flew to G4 jet, and we flew to North Carolina. So later on that, I think that afternoon, same day, this rapper and him, they all in the room together. You know, it's Sarah, the girl, Puff, and this dude, this rapper. So I'm here at the door and stuff like that, like, yeah. So then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff, they're in the room, they busy, they don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bruh, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them. And he was like, yo, I don't care, man, I'm going in there. That bull like that. I said, yo, bruh, Jesus Christ, I had to come down here and take the air out of my body before you get in that room right there. Watch. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed it and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, G, that's my cousin. He know me well. And Puff was like, yo, G, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaky going on. So I was like, oh, he said there was a lot of freaky going on. So that was basically that story, man. You know what I'm saying? They went back in the room. Dude felt a certain kind of way, and he left out. So I seen them at the concert the next day, and they tried to, form up against me. But my man Frank was like, I told my man Frank, I was like, yo, Frank, put yourself in that position. Somebody trying to get in the room, and Ja told you don't let nobody get in the room. What would you do? Now, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, man, but I ain't taking no losses. He said, yo, you good, and that was it. Bruh, when Ja said, you don't want to come up in there, a lot of freaky stuff is going on. You got to use your mind. What they was doing with those butt plugs.
Right. Yeah,
that was crazy. It was real wild.
Besides his feud with 50 Cent, Jay-Z's partnerships with questionable individuals like R. Kelly have drawn criticism, despite his undeniable talent and influence. Supporters of Jay-Z contend that his success stems from his commercial acumen and strategic choices rather than pure chance or opportunism, despite criticism of his associations that he sacrificed integrity for personal benefit.
Anything with Tupac or no? Did you ever?
No, I saw him right before he passed too. Yeah, that's crazy. Never worked with him though.
What did Tupac do? He did gang-related Poetic Justice. Mm-hmm. He did Juice. Mm-hmm. And he did a couple other things. He did a basketball.
Did something with Jim Belushi. Remember he did the one thing?
Yeah. What did he do? Can you Above the Rim, mm-hmm. Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson, which I thought it was great.
Yeah, Bullet, I think is.
Oh yeah, gang-related album soundtrack was actually good. I don't know if you've listened to the gang-related soundtrack. It was
not in a minute. Not in a minute.
Yeah, it was a really, really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cuba, with all this stuff that's coming up with Diddy and you're on one end, 50 Cent is calling out Diddy and here's what he's doing and all this stuff, and they got the back and forth.
Yeah.
I got Suge on here.
Look at this example. Look what happened.
Yeah. And I got Suge on. Yeah, exactly. No question about it. What do you think is going on with all the stuff with Diddy, with Little Rod, with, all the stories that everybody's hearing about?
You mean in terms of what?
I mean, raiding his house being raided.
I mean, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing I'd ever. And then, hey, how about me? I wake up in the morning, I turn and say, showing Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. I was like, excuse me, pull me into this. I think whatever he's dealing with, he's on his journey, man. I think that God has got him on a path where I can't imagine that he's stupid enough to do whatever he's doing and keep it on his premises. I think that the raid and all of that stuff, only time will tell who was involved, who had been a frequent guest in these places and areas. It's funny because my lawyers said, every outlet in the world wants to talk to you. And again, I'm not defining myself from some headline in the press. So I stayed quiet. And it's so funny. So I'll tell you a little story about who my girlfriend is. She gave Robert De Niro 3 grandkids. Her name is Claudine De Niro. She married his son, Raphael. They separated and we've been together for a while. But she, at one point, ran Naomi Campbell's publicity. She, at one point, ran P. Diddy's publicity, right when he started doing the white party thing. Mm-hmm. He had just gotten freed from indictment, found not guilty. did he? And he said to her, I'm going to die running with these niggas, man. I need you to help me with the white folks and the switch. And so she helped cultivate his new image. So they had a friendship for years. But I had never met him till probably 2019-20, just casually, Claudine and I. He invited us to his house. The pandemic was starting to ease.
Fans' attention has been drawn to 50 Cent's constant criticism of Jay-Z's ethics and reputation, which ranges from calling into question the validity of his awards to alleging that he abandoned previous partners. 50 Cent hasn't held back when criticizing Jay-Z. While some may brush these comments off as simple provocations, others view them as a sign of more serious issues inside the industry.
And hadn't seen him since that night where this guy with this picture that says that I had my shoulder on him and all this stuff, making it look sordid. Well, that picture, everyone in the room, there's probably 300 of us on the deck of P. Diddy's, I'm going to show you, on P. Diddy's boat, New Year's Eve. I went from one ship, Happy New Year. So I hung out with Tyson and next ship, there's Drake. This ship had P. Diddy. He had his guy, his videographer. They're listening to music. And he says, hey, Cube, listen, you want to hear P. Diddy's new song? I said, yeah, sure. Sit down next to him. They didn't use this angle, which to me makes me laugh because I go, oh, I get it. You made it look the way you wanted it to look. But that, and if you hold it, you know how you hold it and it does the thing where, can you hear all the people? If you tap it or something, it's a live picture. You see what I mean? It's like, here we are, just listening to music. Finished, took the thing off, said whatever I said to him, left. That was it. But this guy who's suing him, going after the money, man. I'm sure. And by the way, I don't know P. Diddy's life. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what the police are going to find on all of that.
Were you guys close? Were you guys friends or?
We were acquaintances, just like I just showed you. Yeah. 2-3 times I've seen him. So it's.
Oh, so Diddy, you've only seen him 2 or 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So why would they include you all of a sudden in some way?
I think because of the darkness of the other grab of the cases that I already had went through.
Right. A lot of that stuff is 18 though, 19, right? Those are from 5-6 years ago.
That's
cases.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was that at the peak of the Me Too movement, or was that pre-Me Too movement?
That's right.
Me
that's
Too
right
movement,
when it kicked off. Yeah,
right.
That was crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Diddy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. 100%. But I did not know that you guys only hung out 2 or 3 times.
That's it, man.
And 50 was with you for your 56th birthday. I think you guys were hanging out together in Miami.
Yeah, because we were in St. Bart's on that boat, but then in Miami, which is where I run around now, of course, I ran into 50 and he was promoting his champagne. I've seen Drake 100 times around town. He loves Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50.
I'm big with the rappers, man.
How do you feel about 50? How's 50 like?
It's so funny. I got a call from 50 who reached out to me and said, we got to uplift our black entertainers and let's work together. I said, great. So we'll see, I try not to voice any of my opinion when it comes to the rap songs because just like everybody else, I'm into that music, man.
Are you following the Lamar and Drake thing?
No, I just heard about that.
Yeah, got it. I mean, that's like a whole.
Somebody just got shot today outside of Drake's house.
I heard.
See that?
I heard.
So I mean, it's like drive-by shooting in a gated community. I mean, that sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, Drake's security guard seriously injured in shooting at Toronto's mansion. Guard was shot inside Drake's home and had serious.
This feud is rooted in a basic conflict between ambitions and egos. Although 50 Cent and Jay-Z have both blazed their own trails to fame, their strategies couldn't be more dissimilar. Beyond the personal grudges and professional rivalries, there are more significant questions at play regarding the nature of success and fame in the music industry, what it means to truly make it in an industry where image and perception frequently outweigh talent and creativity, and how much of an artist's success is determined by their own merit versus their connections and associations. Jay-Z is known for his calculated moves and strategic partnerships, while 50 Cent has built his brand on a reputation for being unapologetically outspoken and confrontational. These inquiries go to the core of Jay-Z's legacy, as he has been acclaimed as one of the best rappers of all time with a multi-decade career and $1 billion net worth. Jay-Z has cemented his place as a cultural icon, but as 50 Cent and others' criticisms grow, he is coming under more scrutiny than ever before. Did he really deserve his success, or has he just taken advantage of the opportunities that his connections and influence have given him?
But non-life-threatening injuries while the assailant fled in a vehicle.
Yeah, I say to them, just like I said to Tupac when I saw him in the lobby of that hotel in Chicago. He said, hey, man, help me, man. Give me some advice. I said, hey, man, just remember your artistry first. I know you're getting caught up with all this madness, but you're an artist now. He said, thanks, Cube. He hugged me and he went off. And
how old was he at the time?
Well, 2-3 weeks later, he was gone.
Oh, no shit.
I saw him, and here's the second time I saw Tupac. This is a true story. Now, I don't like the whole conspiracy thing. But that day, he was in a convertible, like Rolls Royce. He was at the stop site, and I was on a hockey tournament, so I was in Vegas as well, playing hockey, and Tyson had his fight. And I jumped out of the car, and I ran up to his car. Pac, it's Cube! And all 3 cars, all these cars, boom, 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 with the guns.
Get out.
No, that's Cube Good, man. Hey, that's Cube Good. And I go, oh, sorry, man. He goes, you good? I go, I'm good. I'm sorry, guys. Got in the car. So that happens that day when the sun's out, and at night they get shot and there's no cops around.
Here.
That's a true story. I was involved in that.
So in the morning, few hours later, he's gone.
Yeah. Yes. And so where were all of those undercover cops that pulled the guns on me when I tried to approach him sitting in his car convertible?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying it's weird that they were going to blow me away, and I'm Academy Award winner. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because that's 96. So
Yeah.
at 96, you're like everywhere.
I'm the man.
Yeah, you're the man.
They're like, we don't care. Get away. Back up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, what did he pay you for Jerry Maguire? I forgot to ask you earlier. Was that your big payday?
No. Yeah, at that point, $600,000.
What's the biggest you made for a movie?
Oh, Snow Dogs. I can't talk hell about Snow Dogs. Whoa, that was a good year. Well, that's a 1-2 hit, baby. 13 million total that year.
Wow.
I made a lot
Get
of money.
out of here.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
for
yeah.
you.
You know that money's gone.
Good.
I already spent that money.
Really?
Yeah, $13 million.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you made some good investments.
I made some investments, but that money.
Hey, final.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right.
Conversely, 50 Cent. Even though Jay-Z has achieved commercial success with his music and business endeavors, his constant criticism may also be a reflection of his own anxieties and frustrations within the industry. By focusing on Jay-Z, 50 Cent has frequently found himself eclipsed by musicians with more widespread appeal and cultural significance. Regardless of the reasons for their feud, there is no denying that 50 Cent and Jay-Z's rivalry has enthralled fans worldwide. 50 Cent may be attempting to boost his personal reputation and establish his position in the hip-hop hierarchy.
Said that you rather be poor than be Diddy rich. Can you elaborate on that?
Bruh, I told this to this one guy the other day. I'd rather have a slow nickel than a fast dollar any day. My slow nickel put bread on my table. My slow nickel pays my mortgage. My slow nickel brings me home to my family. My slow nickel builds a community. We see what the fast dollar does. Being Diddy rich takes a guy that once name was Puffy, that after every tragedy he had in his life, he had to change his name. Puffy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Brother Love, Love. Puffy, from the DC tragedy, went to when those kids was trampled over. I think 1 or 2 kids died at a function in DC that he gave. Puffy. City College. Puff Daddy. Diddy. Big. He comes named to Diddy. And now the allegations with Cassie and everything, he went from brother love to love. Being Diddy rich have you thinking you something that you're not. That you greater than what you're supposed to be and the people around you. When I say I'd rather be my poor, with my peace of mind, with my own thoughts, my own community, my own love, with my family, than to be so rich that I'm thinking I'm something that I'm not. That's what they do, bro. Look how many times, what was that? You ever go to a club, it's a big shootout, and it was the Mirage, and then you come back 2 weeks later, now it's the Zone. They changed their name after every shootout. That's what happens.
I didn't appear in the ad because, well, Jay-Z and he were putting it together, so I believe they still harbor some animosity towards me. You think, no, I don't think that they were saying, NFL has some issues with me that, I don't know what those issues are like. I don't know what the issue is like. You see what I'm saying, like, and I am with them because, like with Nori had a communication, he said, yeah, that's why I spoke to the big homie saying, told Jay, he was telling me no, the white boy wouldn't do the truth without 50. I hit the big homie Jay-Z right and ordered him to come pull up on me. He did so, and I said, oh, that's your big homie right. So he modeled himself after a gay painter. At that point, I started saying weird things because I was looking. Big homie wants to look like a gay painter. What are we talking about? Here, we're talking about base it. Oh my God, I think I know where we're headed. Now, look what I'm telling you. When you start looking at that, it's not mine. It's theirs, Harper right, but when you look at M, you're looking at the entire legacy. Yes, the entire thing with M, Dre, and me like.
Because of Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I with M, because like with Nori was, we had communication. He said, yeah, that's why I talked to the big homie. He said, no, Jay was telling me the white boy wouldn't do the truth without 50.
I hit the homie, the big homie Jay-Z, right? And I told him to come pull up on me. And he pulled up on me, and he said,
right. And I'm like, that's when I start saying crazy stuff, because I'm not looking, I go, oh, that's your big homie. Right? So you image yourself after a gay painter. Okay. Big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with
So
this.
now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they are, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself.